most important coach in college football history is starting his dynasty. Cascade Valley is back, and Coach Mervin McMervin is ready to bring him to greatness. They know McMervin had to have his Sunday best on. Some say he might be an assistant principal. Some say he might be going to church in the most casual way possible, but he just says he's here to win games. Now, Coach McMervin is new to coaching at the college level, and he's got a couple of things here. He's going to be a recruiter. He's got some decent abilities here, but he's going to work on building those out. And on his staff will be James Ward, who has Master Motivator, and he's going to have Tim Tibesar, who we will probably blame for all the points that get scored this year. And then meeting Coach McMervin's team, you're going to have Lamar Harmon as your starting QB. The redshirt sophomore should be able to make some plays this year. Kendall Tyson, the running back, wearing number 8, which is a very significant number. At Cascade Valley, only the best, most important player will wear number 8 each season, but they have to be a senior to wear it. There's also some fun running backs here. You're going to see Ace Jackson in the backfield as well as Kendall Tyson. Fullback, we don't care about. They're just here to carry the pads for everybody else. Demetrius Williamson is our best receiver, but look out for Amir Shakur and Mark Fiercely, who are a dynamic duo there, along with Dakota James, who should make some plays. At tight end, Tim Tyndall, McLawler, and Alexander Flame should be absolutely torching defenses. Bookending at left tackle, you have Temple Stonewall protecting Lamar Harmon's blind side. You're going to have McClure as your left guard. Your center will be Jalen McDonald. Your right guard is going to be DeMarcus Perkins, and right tackle is going to be Rich Cherry, who is a mammoth of a human being at 6'7", 317. At left edge, you have Lord Mazu, followed up by Dirk Diggler behind him. At right edge, you're going to have Bam Mason, and we move over to defensive tackle. You have Mario Ortiz, a cousin of Mr. Doinks you might have known in the previous series. Moving to the linebackers, we have our Sam linebacker is Niles Hart. We go to the Mike, we have Eric Buck and Trey Rogeezy. At the Will linebacker, we're going to have Andrew Bam Bam. And then at the corner spot, Mike Hemphill, the legend, will be our starting corner with Jaden Bowie, Dwayne Fox, Terrell Pace, DeMarvin Holland, and a cast of other characters. And then at free safety, we have Ace Blackwell leading that side. And then the opposite side of him, we have Cameron Rose. And then we go to kicker. We're going to have Chip Nix as our starting kicker this year, and Matt Hemphill, who maybe only got on the team because his little brother is just insane. In terms of who Cascade Valley is playing this year, which will be on Heisman difficulty, we have Wyoming, we have Nebraska we go to visit, as well as UAB on the road. We come home to play an FCS team, which should hopefully be a W. I don't know how many of those we'll have this year. We go to Toledo, home versus CMU and Miami of Ohio, away to Ball State and Buffalo, and then we come back home for a 2-game homestand of UMass and Kent State, finishing the season away at Bowling Green. Cascade Valley taking the field for the very first time, and the first play ever is going to go Demetrius Williamson for almost a first down. Coach McMervin has assembled a roster that just cannot wait to compete. And I don't know how good they'll be this year, but they're going to try. Their best player by far is Kendall Tyson, an absolute demon in the backfield, but he only goes as far as the offensive line blocks. Halfback screen getting dialed up. Wyoming kind of bit on that one, but a great play by the defensive end to drop him for a loss. CBU's first big test, though, as Wyoming has done a pretty good job here on defense. They have some time. Harmon finds his guy, and Alexander Flames gets lit up. If you're enjoying this series, by the way, and excited for a whole lot, just make sure you subscribe. Over 65% of you that watch this series and this channel are actually not subscribed. And I'd love to have you subscribe as we go through a whole bunch of episodes. Harmon looking like a poised pro out there. The redshirt sophomore locked in. Gets good protection on this one. Finds Williamson, who's going to make a man look silly. 1st and 10, though. Harmon drifts back in the pocket. He's got James out there, and James almost has that one in. Been a lot of conversation about who is going to score the very first touchdown in CBU history. And Fiercely. We thought it was Tendo, but Fiercely is going to catch that one. Mark Fiercely, the first touchdown in CBU history on this brand new squad. Personal shot on defense here as CBU is going to try to lock in. Little RPO. Let me get him down for 5. And before the Mervins get a little crazy in the comments, yes, that was a read option, not an RPO. We know the difference. The live commentary is hard. Another read option here. They're going to try to get to the edge, and we can't quite get him, and he gets the first. Wyoming finds himself on a big 3rd down, though, deep in their own territory. They're trying to convert. A couple of good routes here. The QB fakes like he's going to run, throws a dime, and that's going to get him to midfield. 3rd and 17, though. Again, they haven't had much progress since that last big play. Rogeezy watching the middle, sees the QB trying to take off, and he says not on his watch, and he's going to drop him after a gain of 1. First quarter winding down, probably one of the last plays here if we see a little bit of success. And Lamar Harmon says, I'm taking off. He doesn't have wheels like Fullwood, though. Sun starting a set here over at Cascade Valley from McMervin Field. And Harmon's going to find a nice pass to for Dakota James, who drops it. Dakota James is trying to earn his playing time on the field, but that is going to be how you get in McMervin's doghouse. Amir Shakur doesn't have a spin move, and they get him after 5. If you know anything about Coach McMervin, though, he's going to go for that thing. He said, I'm leaving here with something. He's got him a bad ball to Williamson. He has the first. The 1st and 10. Harmon, risky ball. And Flames nearly brings it down. McMervin's the guy that likes to mix in the run and the pass. He doesn't want to go too heavy on some and then miss the others, but he's got to make sure he gets to start running back the ball. Because very quickly they're finding themselves in another 3rd down. But Tim Tyndall on his first reception is going to go down the field. He's got a great block from Kendall Tyson, and Tim Tyndall is down in the end zone for the first time in his career. Wyoming's found themselves inside the red zone for the first time today, though, and a chance to get themselves on the scoreboard. And Ace Blackwell's going to bring down the running back. Blackwell already has 3 tackles in the day, one of those being a nasty hit on a wide receiver across the middle of the field earlier in the first quarter. They go with a dot, and Wyoming is going to answer back, cutting the lead to 14-7. Not a ton of time left here in the first half. See if the offense can get it going. Harmon doesn't like what he sees. He's going to risk one, and that goes right to the defense. A miscommunication between the receiver and Harmon, and Wyoming has the ball at the 26. Wyoming moves their guys under center. They go with a handoff. Our guys missed the tackle multiple times. They keep it moving, and Wyoming is going to tie this thing up. Back-to-back drives give them back-to-back touchdowns. We got a whole new ball game now. A lot of time left in the first half. We just got to lock in and make the plays that we need to here. Williamson, though, a great run after the catch, and he's got 9. 2-minute warnings here. Getting the ball to Dakota James, and I think he has enough. Harmon's volumes of passes have been pretty high right now. He's going to probably end the first half with over 20 passes, as he already is at 17. And that one goes to first for Kendall Tyson. Hit him with the play action. He's got a couple guys down the field. He's going to end up finding Amir Shakur, who's going to have that down to the 25. Is Amir Tupac's cousin? We'll never know. We do know that he's one incredible receiver. This one, a great pass by Harmon, and Tyndall goes way up top to get it. The offense has kind of got to settle down a little bit. They're driving. They're doing good things, but they don't want to score too quick. But they definitely want to make sure they score. The clock is at 30 seconds. Harmon scrambling. He's going to throw one underneath, and he's got James under there. You could argue it's a risky play, but he does stop the clock there at 24 seconds. He's looking. He throws one. It's going to be risky, and Beersley has it and drops it after the big hit. You can see where this team is trying to put it all together. It's not quite there, but it could be. Harmon is going to try to stretch his legs, and they end up calling their first time out with 11 seconds left. It's a major 3rd down. Across the middle, though, is Dakota James, who is in the end zone, and CVU is at 3 touchdowns by 3 different players, but they've all been through the air. Moving on to the 4th quarter, though, things getting a little spicy. Wyoming down 7. It's trying to make it happen, and they go with a QB run, and they nearly get the first. Interestingly enough, though, they are going to line up for the punt, because at this point, if you give this ball right back to CVU, the way that we've been kicking and moving the ball, you got to imagine that will be a guaranteed touchdown. Dwayne Fox trying to do something, gets a couple of yards, but not a ton. Crowd going a little crazy here. We're going to try to get Kendall Tyson the rock, see if they can make a play. A good run is going to get maybe 9. They say almost 10. We have definitely been pass happy today. The run game hasn't been maybe given as much love as we would have expected, though. But with a lead like this, we want to make sure that we're being smart and efficient. Getting the ball to Tupac's alleged cousin. A little 2nd and long here. Again, chewing the clock some. Harmon is going to roll out. He's got his guy, squares his body, and it's a dot to Tim Tyndall, the biggest target on the field, and this man is relentless until he's lit up. Harmon slowed down on the pass attempts here in the second half. Wyoming's really had the ball more than anything, but he's got 32 on the day, and Kendall Tyson, the first rushing touchdown for CVU, and he'll remember that one forever. 14-point game. Wyoming has some time, but they can't wait but so long. Blackwell, though, is going to get another tackle as they drop that guy short of the marker. They actually give them the first down, which feels a little crazy if we're being honest. Underneath again is where Wyoming's been living today. Bam Bam kind of watching the middle as Anderson for Wyoming's going to make an adjustment. They switch things out, and again, they're living underneath, and it's working. CVU crowd not as loud as Bam Bam would like it, so he's going to say, why don't you just go ahead and get your hands up? We need something right now. No blitzes right now. It's making things a lot easier for Wyoming, and on the man zero blitz, they drop a big one. Squad bringing the pressure. Their guy running, and it's a dot that Mike Hemphill gets thrown on. Wyoming's having a great drive, but it is taking them a long time. They go underneath yet again. Check down Charlie's, and they're out of bounds after 7. Second is short. They're taking a little bit of a breather, and you were to see him underneath nonstop. Coach McMervin switching things up. He's going to switch to a man-based defense to try to maybe get some lock-ins here. But you see the underneath throws continue. Wyoming goes for another one. And Rogeezy's going to trip him, man. At some point, though, you have to wonder, when is the madness going to stop? And on this time, it does, as Wyoming throws a dot down the middle. And they've cut this lead back to single digits. Now, this is where Wyoming is trying to lock things in. They need to get this. Ellinger is going to go up, and he gets hit and holds on. What a play. The game is effectively over, but Wyoming does still have 2 timeouts, so things could get a little interesting. Kendall Tyson says, you know what? That was not a good time for a hurdle. And with a play like that, potentially injuring a player, Coach McMervin says, go ahead and take a knee. As we're walking out of here on the W, Wyoming goes down. The first opponent that CVU plays. They catch a giant L. We're proud of how this team played, but there's some work to be done. Shout out to Lamar Harmon, 273 through the air, 3 touchdowns, and a really great completion percentage. He definitely was the player of the game. Recapping the stats, Harmon again had a great day on the ground. We're going to see the Kendall Tyson 12 for 70. Harmon goes for 7 as well, but the 1 touchdown on the ground was by Tyson. And then on the receiving side, Tyndall goes 7 for 130 and a touchdown. James gets in the end zone, as does Fiercely with his only catch of the game, but we got to get him and Shakur a lot more involved too. Defensively, Trey Rogeezy led us with 8 big tackles today. From a sack perspective, the only one to get one was Bam Mason, and interception-wise, not a single one, probably because they checked down the whole game. Game 2 is going to be against Nebraska, and this is definitely not Wyoming. They are a much better team. Not an elite team, a team that we could maybe potentially rise up and beat, but stopping Dylan Raiola is going to be our biggest challenge today, and their receiver core is a little scary too. Dane Key is pretty good, but Ja'Cory Barney is very fast, as is Naziah Hunter, so we have our work cut out for us today. Raiola and company are taking the field, and this is going to be CVU's first big test. McMervin felt good. His team got, I believe, a 7-point win last week, but this one has a feeling like it's going to be either a blowout for Nebraska or just a much tighter game in general. We've got to play our best football yet. The boys getting out there ready to get things going. This is going to be a game that the defense has to absolutely cook. And Bam Bam could have had an interception. Now, Bam Bam wasn't exactly recruited for his hands, but he's got to do better than that. That is a situation where you can change the tide of this game if you can just make that play right there. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Can CVU get the stop they need? Blackwell forces the ball to be lodged out. Things getting a little crazy there. CVU gets a stop against Nebraska on the road. This team might be for real. Dwayne Fox trying to get some sight lines and can't quite get one. How does this offense respond? This crowd is going to be crazy, but Kendall Tyson says, I got some moves for you, as he gets 9 yards. Little second is short. Harmon going to keep this one, tries to slide up a little bit and does have the first. This crowd is absolutely going insane. Harmon has never seen anything like this. And you can see the panic is real. He's running, and he's just going to get rid of that one smartly. Harmon living to fight another down. He's going to go with a halfback screen as he gets absolutely obliterated. No blocking, but Kendall Tyson doesn't need it. Great run. The offense going through it at the moment. Underneath is open. That one's going to be a little high, but Dakota James brings it in. 2nd down, kind of a long one here. Underneath, Williamson. No moves after the catch, but he gets a couple. Harmon approaching the line. Crucial 3rd down. A great defensive play. That could have went for 6. Now, last week, Chip hit a 48-yarder, but he's got 8-mile-an-hour winds, and this is on the road. Chip gets a big leg into this one, and it's just missed wide right. The wind doesn't catch up to that one, and that one, unfortunately, doesn't go. Not exactly the outcome CVU wanted. The defense looked great. The offense or special teams has a lot of work to be done, but Rogeezy with the big hit. Raiola here on the little halfback screen. Our guys struggling to get to the edge. Rogeezy not quite fast enough to get there, and they get the first down. But whoa, major game changer. Raiola's holding his leg. There's an injury to him right now. We spent our entire week game planning for Dylan Raiola, and now that there's a backup in for whatever stretch of time he's in, you have really no insight into how good or not good he is. And look at Cameron Rose, big stop in the backfield. Running back's going to move over. They look to go for a little screen pass, but Maslu's all over that one. Great tackle. Major 3rd down. They're testing him. Dwayne Fox out there. And he got mossed. I believe that was Dane Key on the grab, and that might have been the best reception we've seen all season so far. Great play action. They go, and it's a missed throw. Looks like Dylan Raiola's come back in the game. That little leg injury doesn't seem to be bothering him too much here. He's going to take off running. We got a couple of guys that aren't going after him, and a big hit. He gets the first down, though. Before we could even ask if that leg was bothering him, he said, nah, I think I'm good right now. Great scramble to put his team where they need to be. Rogeezy and company trying to get there, and a great cut by the running back gives Nebraska the lead early. A little bit of time left here in the first quarter, and the blitz is real. Amir Shakur can't quite hear his route here. Harmon desperately trying to get him to listen. They think he's actually got it. Harmon, though, a great pass, and Amir has to jump up and it's dropped. The crowd is going absolutely insane. Harmon trying to catch him. Throws the ball to just a guy that had no business going after it. Nebraska in the red zone yet again. Our guy's a bit of a struggle here. And that was almost a touchdown. 3rd and short. If the running back goes out wide, we might be cooked. Tight end goes in the backfield. We're trying to get someone there, and he just runs over everyone. Nebraska, you can see where they're a lot better. Down 14, but there's still plenty of time in the game. The squad just praying for a completion at this point. Against Wyoming, it was very easy to find our identity, but here it has been not as easy. But we know that Tim Tyndall, we can rely on him. Got a first down, little momentum. Kendall Tyson maybe for no yards. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Big opportunity, and Amir Shakur is going to hold on to that. This is the kind of drive we need right here. Building confidence in the offense while giving the defense a bit of a break after just getting cooked for an entire drive. Tyson with a great run there, going right back to it here, trying to just find some room. That's a lot of hits for maybe 4. In the pistol, going with the play action. And somehow, Harmon got rid of that. It didn't really go for a lot, but that might be the most impressive throw that Lamar Harmon has had in his young career, because that ball was thrown with so much pressure on his back, and that one gets Tyndall down to the 5. 1st and goal. We're so close to putting something on him here. And Harmon, in the face of pressure, says, I do not care. And Dakota James in the end zone. We've cut the lead in half. Nebraska driving down the field. They're feeling pretty good about where they are right now. Raiola, since he's been back in the game, has just been crucial for them. Little wide receiver screen, and that goes for a little bit. He's in the backfield by himself. Time is running down. He's got pressure, and Jarian Love is going to bring him down for a big sack. With 4 seconds left, our team is going to try to get a block here. 3rd and 12. Flying it from the field goal from the other hash. This one is up. It's going left, and that one is going to be a miss. CVU gets the ball back, but with no time, we're going to take a kneel. This crowd in Nebraska is going crazy like it's back in the 90s. And Kendall Tyson, with his best run so far, picks up about 15. Harmon, his poise out there has been electric, and he's trying what he can do just to keep this team short and concise. He's had a really good approach, especially in the face of pressure today. And this time, he might have got Kendall Tyson killed. And what was feeling like a very good drive is now all of a sudden very scary. Tyson's going to move in motion. And Flames is going to drop it. Back on the defense, the fam is just trying to see if they can turn over Nebraska right now. But a good stop on the first run drops him for 2. Dan Mason making that last play there. Jeezy creeping up to the line. They go with an RPO. Our guys are not doing the best job at tackling, but we're going to see a gain of 6. Big moment for CVU. Can they get the stop here? And just a great double slant route that we didn't guard properly. Nebraska stays driving on the field and just keeps dotting up our defense. Another first down, another great run by Nebraska, and just stands up as we lay a big hit with Blackwell. Under center, first down. A little confused on that run, but our guys are there, and Ortiz brings them down. Huge 3rd and 5. They go with the run. We have everyone there, but no one that tackles. He gets another huge gain. They go with the little read option, and Raiola's going to spin off the tackle. And Rocco Spindler is going to go down, one of the offensive linemen for Nebraska. After a gain of 1, they go with a little play action. Raiola can't go anywhere, and Ortiz is going to bring him down at the line. This is where our guys are trying to figure out, can they do what they need to? A halfback screen. We didn't see it. We're trying to get our guys over the edge to force a middle, and we do a great stop. Rojeezy gets the tackle. The last time we saw Nebraska's kicker, he ended up kicking one wide left. This is his chance of redemption. This one is unfortunately going to be good, and it's a 10-point game. 3rd quarter's winding down. We're trying to make sure we get a good drive here. And look at Shakur having a great block ahead of him. Final play here, the 3rd. Harmon unleashes one. It's a little bit over, and it's picked off. 6'4" Mark Fiercely couldn't even catch up to that one. And Nebraska ends the 3rd quarter exactly how they want to, by getting the ball right back. The defense has definitely seen better moments, but right now we're just trying to see if we can maybe force a turnover to get ourselves right back in this game, because a touchdown by Nebraska here could be all she wrote. And Raiola is just running through. His Maslu is going to be the one to bring him down. That play was just absolute heart by Maslu, really the only guy hustling on that entire one. And he's the reason we were able to do something here. And Hemphill's going to bring down Raiola on that run. If we could hold them to maybe a field goal here. Oh, what a hit. Are you kidding me? Bam Mason just absolutely killed a man. What a play. 3rd and goal. And he goes down. Our defense is stepping up. We're going to call a timeout here because we don't want them to waste too much. A great stop. Bend don't break by the defense. But now Nebraska's got a chance to extend this lead again. This one is up. It is good. They're kicker 2 for 3 on the game. But really, can our offense do anything is the question. Nebraska's dominated this game in a lot of ways, but just time of possession has been really one of the best ways that they've done it. They've had the ball about double the amount of time we have. Harmon's got a chance to make something happen here. Now the defense has got to be prepared for that. Feeling the tiniest bit of momentum. Trying to lock in. And we just don't have what we want. But we are going to find Shakur. Who's down the field? The offense feeling good now. Probably the best movement they've had all day today. And Harmon's going to send one of his guys up the field as he's going to get nearly the first down as he gets out. Our chance of winning this game, not very high. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to keep trying. Tyndall, great route running. He's going to get that first down and gets out. Williamson might have a little bit of zone coverage to exploit over here on the left-hand side. We'll see. They end up playing it pretty well, but they are not guarding the biggest target out there, Tim Tyndall. Pressure is real, but Nebraska's starting to feel a little bit of it too. A crazy ball, and we're going to see him get down. Flames getting in there was just such a big catch. Kendall Tyson over there on the edge. They say out at the 1. 2:22 on the clock. And Kendall Tyson's going to haul that one in. A late hit if you ask us, but we now are still in this game. Coach McMervin trusts his defense. They've had their big moments and he feels like this could be one here. With only 2 timeouts, the 2-minute warning acts as our 3rd. So giving up a first down would not be ideal. And look at Eric Buck make a play and we use a timeout. 2nd and 14. They're locking in. We've got our guy in front. We would have loved him to get out of bounds, but now this goes to the 2-minute warning. We're going to imagine that they don't pass here. They go with the run. We just got to hope that we can actually stop it if they do. They do go with the pass. Raiola gets hit as he throws, and we're going to get the ball back with 1:55. The Nebraska crowd feeling a little silence after that. That is the worst thing that could have happened to them. They have to kick this ball and give it to us in pretty good territory. As Dwayne Fox gets it to the 48. This also opens up a lot of doors for the offense. They have plenty of time, and they still have 1 timeout because of how Nebraska played that, and they go with a run with Kendall Tyson for 3. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. We obviously are in 4-down territory, and Williamson has the first. Harmon has had a rough day out there, but he's feeling pretty good about himself now as Kendall Tyson breaks a tackle and then fumbles. Kendall Tyson had it until they didn't, and Nebraska is going to walk out of here with the W after forcing a fumble on CVU's incredible drive. It's one of those plays where you fight for extra yards, and unfortunately, fighting for those extra yards are what forced Kendall Tyson to fumble. It was an incredible game. We fought. Nebraska is a much better team with a much larger budget. We will get our revenge. It won't happen this season, but we can promise you in the future, it'll happen for sure. Lamar Harmon really couldn't find the yards that maybe he wanted to, but 2 touchdowns and an interception, only getting sacked once, and a 70% completion rate is pretty good. Kendall Tyson not getting the touches, maybe 7 for 40. We're seeing progress, but that fumble is going to hurt Coach McMervin's confidence a little bit. And then on the ground, or excuse me, in the air, we're going to see Tyndall go 5 for 54. Shakur had 50. We also see the only touchdowns by Tyson and by Dakota James, who has really found his way to be a red zone target. And then on defense, we're going to see Andrew Bam Bam lead us with 7 tackles. Hemphill, Mason, all getting in there involved as well. From a sack perspective, we're going to notice that Mike Hemphill, Jarian Love, and Cade Bloom all got 1. And then interceptions, we still have yet to force a turnover through the air, which is honestly one of our biggest problems. Coach McMervin has his team as 1-1 so far this year. The Wyoming game, we thought we had a chance to win. The Nebraska one, we didn't think we did. But still, we walked out 1-1, which feels good. But the question is, when we play a team like UAB, who's closer to our skill level, how do we ultimately perform? We'll find out in the next one. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.